to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. Welcome to Taco Tuesdays, and my wonderful co-host, David from Tarot by the Bay. Hey,
Hello,
David.
everyone.
Hey. Oops. The one thing that I forgot to do. Yeah. Turn down the volume on cell phone. Yeah, so I see we've already got a few folks in here. Yeah, Rose Blue. Hi, Rose Blue. Melissa Gerber. Who else? Claudia, Cat Mama, Meows, Dewdrop in. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for sharing part of your evening with us. And, as always, Carol asked backwards, hey, nice to see you here. Louise spoke. So she says hello to two of my fave tarot readers.
Oh, I wonder who those are.
Yeah. Hey,
Linda
Louise.
G. I didn't know Linda G and Mel were on the show tonight.
Yeah. So we've got a few things that we're going to cover tonight. So I think I'll get into kind of the housekeeping end of things first before we get into that, because I really want to be able to devote myself to that discussion. So, hey, Hilda Flores, Debbie No. Hello. So, if you want to know how you can link up to David's channel, and I suggest that you do because he puts out some excellent current event videos that are just very, very accurate, very to the point and whatnot. So in the description of the video, you'll see there's a link there to his YouTube channel. Make sure you go over and subscribe and then hit the like and share because, hello, Michelle and Peace Mama and Lady Leo. Yeah. And Tarot asked backwards says, hell yes, he is good. He is. He is. So, and then you could also, subscribe, share, like my channel as well. Consider becoming a member. Hey, Linda. There's benefit to being a member. One of the benefits, and I'm going to tell you very quickly right now, is I've got 3 classes that I'm running in October. Okay. And it's free to members, and non-members, it's $25 a class. That's really not a whole lot when you think about it. So the first class is on Tuesday, October 3rd, and that's at 5 p.m. And that is called Make Your Own Oracle Deck. And that's if you're not finding that you have an oracle or tarot deck that you're resonating with, you can create your own. I did. And I'll teach you how it's done. So on Saturday, October 7th at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, the class is Change the Track, and that's changing the soundtrack that plays in the back of your head that is sort of your default when it comes to a lot of things. And there are ideas and beliefs in that soundtrack that need to be replaced. So this teaches you how to do that, replace it with positive affirmations and whatnot. And then on Saturday, October 14th at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, the class is called Intuition or Ego. And that is, how do you know which one is which? And I'll give you an example very quickly of, how you can know when the two are wrestling together or wrestling against each other is you're in a situation, you get a feeling about something, and then you talk yourself out of it, and you give yourself, out or whatever, and then you find out later you were absolutely right in the first place. So that's a conversation between ego and intuition, and again, some helpful tools on how to deal with that. So that is what's coming up for the first little bit in October. Go to my main YouTube page, go down under the community tab, and Yeah, click on there and you can go down and you can see the classes that are offered and also what's coming up and that kind of stuff. So there, that's what I got. Okay, are we ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I kind of figured you might be.
I'm chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
After missing the show 2 weeks ago. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Perfect. And what is it that you want to read on, David?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Maybe something current, some late breaking news. Something that happened this afternoon.
New hairstyle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could show me your bag that you showed me earlier in the show.
Yes. Yeah, hey, why not? For those of you that are interested, look. Eat, sleep, terror, repeat. This is, yeah. Can put my cards in here. Okay. Well, I'm going to pull out my tarot cards. And yeah, I think somebody mentioned it earlier that, yeah, about something about Trump and position against him. Or let me just go back. Oh, here we go. It's Melissa Gerber's. She says, "Did you see? Trump businesses are being dissolved by a New York judge."
And kind of the background on that one. This is the Letitia James civil case against Donald Trump for financial fraud, falsifying records, overvaluing properties when he's trying to get insurance or better interest rates. So he's defrauding banks and insurance companies, and then devaluing it when it comes time to pay taxes. So he's defrauding New York. One of the interesting things on it was Trump's legal team's not exactly the sharpest tools in the shed, so to speak.
No.
And they didn't get their filings in on time, such that Letitia James wanted a judge trial, no jury trial, or I think they call it a bench trial. And Trump's team wanted a jury trial, but they didn't bother filing the paperwork. So it ended up being a judge trial. So you don't have to worry about Trumpsters being in the jury pool saying, finding him not guilty or trying to torpedo the amount that he has to pay, because it's just the judge making the decisions on this. And both
here comes the judge.
Both sides today, or both sides had submitted paperwork for a summary judgment. A summary judgment is basically saying, Letitia James would say, "Judge, there is so much evidence here that he's guilty. We don't even need to have a trial. Just call him guilty and we'll move on." And Trump's team presented their evidence and said, "Judge, it's clear that my client's not guilty. There's so much evidence here. We don't need to have a trial." And the judge agreed that there was no need to have a trial, but he agreed with Letitia James. It's because the evidence was so overwhelming that Trump was in his family business was committing fraud. There's no reason to have a trial. You're guilty. It's the same thing that happened with the E. Jean Carroll second defamation case. A little bit different because in that case, he had been guilty of defaming her in a related case. So if he's guilty of already defaming her because he was found guilty of rape, then he can't sue her for defamation, or she obviously wins the next defamation case where he denied raping her because it's already been shown he raped her. Automatic win for her. So Letitia James's case, the biggest point that in her case, she just won that case with the judge. There's a few more things that they're going to work out. There's smaller detail things like that, but the judge basically said that Trump and his organization committed fraud, and that he's suspending a number of their business licenses that they have in New York City. So what long and short of it is, he's going to be run out of New York. He will not be able to do business in New York City. And Eric Trump took time away from his paste tub to come out and say that it was the biggest travesty in legal history, and he's really upset with he's lost faith at the New York legal system. And I think Eric's forgotten that in Trump's deposition, he basically threw Eric under the bus saying, "Oh yeah, well, I've been running this company for years. Eric's been the one doing it." Yeah. I have a video up on that. So Yeah, Eric's in trouble too. He doesn't. He may not realize it yet.
No, he probably doesn't, because let's face it, Eric isn't the most brilliant one of all. But excuse me, yeah, this is what he was saying is very similar to what Trump said as well about, oh my gosh, this is the end of democracy as we know it. That basically the New York AG is going after him and his family like nobody's business. And which, of course, that's what he's going to say. What else is he going to say? Whoops, got me.
And then another bit of news on that one. He fined 5 of Trump's lawyers $7,500 each because in the initial filings, they said Letitia James had no standing to file these charges. Nobody was defrauded or nobody was hurt, etc. And the judge had just basically said, that's all a bunch of hogwash. I don't care. These are going forward. So when they were doing the session today, they refiled those allegations. And he basically said, you're filing frivolous allegations, and you fined them each $7,500 to send the message across.
Nice.
So there's another $37,500 in fines for his lawyers. Maybe that'll stop the shenanigans a little bit.
Yeah, you'd think, but yeah. Yeah, Suburban Housewives says, sometimes I wonder if Eric had a different father. Yeah, have you ever, and I can't remember the guy's name, Busey. Is it Jerry Busey?
Gary Busey, the actor?
Yeah, Gary Busey. Listen, you see Gary Busey's picture and you see Eric Trump.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying. So, yeah, it could be. Who knows? Yeah, Gary Busey. All right. Rose Blue says, I don't have champagne, but I'm drinking a beer. Good on you, girl. Okay. So now what is it that we want to ask? Is this well, let's ask how Donald is feeling.
Come on down. Entertainment purposes only and all that. How's Donald feeling after the judge's ruling today? His lawyers are probably telling him to keep a lid on it. I'm sure he wants to rage about it, but the problem is one of the problems he's got going on right now. He's got so many cases going on.
Yeah.
And the one with Judge Chutkan with regards to the January 6th trial, and with Jack Smith trying to get Trump partially gagged because Trump just keeps causing problems. And so if he explodes on this is going to be more evidence that can be used by Judge Chutkan to shut him down on his other cases. So his lawyers are probably telling him, dude, you've got to calm down. You cannot do this. But I think he is going to explode. Interesting. Okay, so I didn't see that coming. Page of Cups. I think this may not be because he's going to explode. They want to keep a lid on it because he's talking crazy. Uh-huh. So, and he's trying to stir up stuff. Okay, so it's actually both. So his lawyers want to keep a lid on it because, first off, he's talking nonsense, and the underlying reason why he's talking is he's trying to cause argy-bargy. He's trying to cause fighting and strife and just cause chaos underneath all of this. Mm-hmm. In the past, I had Pentacles. They went forward with their best offer on these cases. He's got a lot more cases he needs to deal with, and this case isn't done yet. So, this is just one of many. So keep a lid on it, or else you're going to make things worse for yourself. Overarching is the Page of Pentacles. Now, this one's come up a couple of times. Donald Trump usually, for me, comes up as a King of Pentacles. Uh-huh. And there's there's like up to $250 million in fines coming with this case. So we're going to turn the King of Pentacles into a Page of Pentacles because he's going to be paying a lot of money. The Page of Pentacles also represents my election interference, stolen election card. So that's overarching this as well because he's got all those cases with Judge Chutkan he has to worry about on top of this. The lesson to be learned is take your loss and move on. Don't stir the pot. As much as he's trying to stir the pot, they're trying to get him out of that and into a calmer area, because if he stirs it up too much, he could lose his freedom. Outcome, sorrow, disappointment. Trump's mad. He's really mad because there's no wins. There are no wins anywhere he's going with this right now. And he's mad at his family. He's mad at his lawyers. He's mad at the judge. He's mad at everybody but himself.
Yeah.
At this point. So that's what I'm getting here.
Yeah. No, I agree. I started off with temperance. And yeah, this is, like you say, his lawyer's saying, okay, look, just zip it. Just zip it, okay? Because you're talking stuff that we're not going to be able to take back, to walk back, right? So yeah, stop talking, let us do our job, because and it's crossed by the 9 of Pentacles, which is you used to be set. You used to be someone that maybe people had to contend with, but you're not that anymore. Like, people are seeing you for what you are, okay? And you got to stop with the battling, stop with the fighting with everybody, like you said. Doesn't care who it is, they're going to get a good earful of what he's thinking. Okay, this is a real burden for him. It's a real burden for his lawyers as well, because there's he constantly tells on himself, right? They come up with a story and they say, okay, this is what we're sticking to, and then he goes on to explain why they're sticking to that theory, and then wants to tell you how they arrived at that. And anyway, he tells that he's like a brilliant idiot, Yeah. So there's I really think that he's going to be looking at the people that are around him and trying to decide who gets to stay and who gets to go, because somebody's got to pay for this. Yep. And he sure as hell ain't going to pay for it. Cool. And there's a part of him, I think, that wants to go back to the way that things were before he decided that he wanted to be president, right? When a few people paid attention to what he said and he could just grift in private. Yeah, there are times when he wishes, he longs for those days when things were the way that he wanted them. Yeah. And of course, bottom of the deck is the Emperor. There he is, the man himself. Yeah, absolutely. So, do you want to take a look and see if he is going to throw Eric under the bus?
Oh, sure.
Eric, come on down. Yeah. You were the next contestant.
What's Trump going to do with regards to Eric?
Yeah.
Will he throw Eric under the bus for this case or something else?
Yeah. What?
And it was interesting while you were doing your reading, when you're saying, Trump tells on himself. That's one of the things that he just did recently on one of those interviews over the weekend. He basically said, oh, yeah, it's the whole fake election thing, that was my idea. Not giving up in the election. It's like, dude, you just got rid of all your defenses. Everything that you had as a defense at that point, you just flushed. Oh, God.
I know.
He makes his lawyers I wouldn't want to be a lawyer for him. What's Trump got in store for Eric? Okay, we've got. Okay, this card tells me a lot right here. When I was in charge of this business, everything was great. I put you in charge of this business, and you just made a shambles out of it. And here comes the bus. Yep, I'm going to take the head of the company and throw him under the bus because my life just became difficult, so I'm going to make your life difficult too. I don't even know if I have to read much more on that one. I'll race through it. This is communications. There might be emails and stuff like that that they got from this, because Trump is notorious for not using emails and such.
Yeah.
But this could be emails or things like that they found in discovery that helped seal this case. This could also just be when Trump throws him under the bus, it's going to happen quickly. And there's the wheels of the bus going round and round. And so I'm sorry if I'm laughing at Eric's demise, but it's more that, this is a bus card, and now I'm singing children's songs about the wheels of the bus go round and round. And it's karmic. Like, what did you expect was going to happen? Trump takes all the credit and gives away all the blame. This is going to be his new thing. It's just like, it was, Eric Trump. I barely knew the guy, never met him. It's gonna be that thing. This is my son. He will throw his son under the bus. It's all Eric's fault. This is his new great idea, because he would never make a mistake. He was in charge and everything was fine. It's only when his son got in charge and came up with his own ideas that things go poorly. That's an interesting ending card here, though. Two of Pentacles. I don't think he's going to disown Eric, but I use this card sometimes as a card of flipping. And this might cause Eric to rethink his loyalties to his father.
Uh-huh.
Because it might just be the Trump family motto of every man for himself. And this might be what snaps Eric into the, I need to protect myself because I'm about to get blamed for everything. Now, mind you, this is a civil case, so it's not like anybody's going to prison over this, but he's going to probably realize how unfair it is that he's getting blamed for all of it, because all he was doing was continuing what his father started.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny you say that, because I remember doing a reading a while back, and the reading was about Trump throwing Eric under the bus, and the fact that that Eric was realizing that he'd been sort of a pawn on his father's chessboard for quite a long time, and that it was his wife Laura who was trying to get him to see what his father was doing. And she was now sitting back going, what I tell you, did I not call it? Right? So absolutely. This is, I don't know why they're so loyal to him. It's not like, he's ever done them any favors. Okay. So
part of it, I think, is he holds the purse string. He controls all the money. So if you want your inheritance, you've got to play the game. It was the same thing with Donald and his siblings when they were younger. And his dad just put Donald in charge. And then, everybody has to kneel and pledge fealty to the Donald at that point.
Yeah. So, I start off with the Empress. Mm-hmm. And this is the in this case, I'm looking at that as kind of, he's formulating the plan, and they're working on formulating the plan to give birth to the idea that, Eric, come on now, it's Eric. What can I say? It's crossed by Temperance, in that is, he really, he doesn't want to do it, but he's going to do it if it helps him, right? There is no loyalty, that there is no reciprocity when it comes to that loyalty. It goes one way, right? So this is something that, in a lot of ways, yeah, Eric is the wounded warrior, in that he's taken his father's shit for a good long time, and he just keeps showing up. He's like that loyal dog. You kick it, you throw it out in the snow, and the minute you open the door and say, "Come here, boy, come here," it comes running with the tail wagging, right? So yeah, that King of Cups, it is going to be a little bit of an emotional time for Eric, and it's not going to work out well. Like, yeah, that's Four of Swords. That's yeah, him having to be quiet, and wow. I can't imagine a parent doing that to one of their children to save their own skin, but at the same time, I almost can't blame them for not acting differently, since this is the only thing they've ever known. They don't have anything. Okay, let's see.
I'm curious if this will bankrupt Trump Org, because I don't think it's a company that's worth that much money. I don't know, like, I've never heard this, I think. I don't know who all the property's name is, if it's in Donald Trump's name, if it's in a trust name, if it's in Trump.org's name. Who controls all the money? Who's all the money titled to?
Yeah. I think probably his, corporations. I would imagine corporations and number companies and whatnot, rather than personal names, because then I think when you have a business, if it's in your name, then you are responsible for any losses, anything that is any penalties that are incurred.
Yeah.
Can be judged against you personally and your personal assets. So I think he probably would have it in somebody else's name. Yeah, MK says Putin's name. Yeah. Hey.
He should put in the name of the person who's been supplying you the cash.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Now, let's very quickly, if we can, let's take a look at the other bit that's in the news right now is Cassidy Hutchinson, of course, and her new book, which
enough. There should be an exclamation mark at the end of it.
Yeah. I think, oh, good question. Actually, Rose Blue says, anything in Barron's name.
I don't know the answer to that. I wouldn't think. Trump's the kind of guy, he doesn't want other people to have control of his finances. You know what I mean? He understands the money is the power. If he doesn't have the money, he doesn't have the power. He can't leverage you over anything.
Yeah. Good point.
But I understand where you're going with the Rose Blue, because then it protects his money from legal settlements. I think there was speculation when Donald Trump Jr.'s first wife divorced him. It's because she came from money and she was trying to protect her assets and assets they had with the kids. So it was better for her to divorce him and then get their assets separated, and then probably put the kids' asset in a trust, so that if and when the time comes that the government comes a calling and takes down Trump and all their family wealth, at least she and her kids are protected.
Yeah. From
that. And then he gets to have Kimberly Guilfoyle as his girlfriend.
Yeah, imagine.
How exciting.
Yeah. So All right. Rose Blue says at 17 in New York State. Oh, you're of age. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's not like he'd be giving it over to a minor. Okay. So Cassidy Hutchinson's book, is it going to have an impact on some of the people that are still undecided?
Okay.
And I don't know how at this point in time you can be undecided. That is just beyond me. But
well, I like MK's response at 629 there, second from the bottom.
Like an answer to Mary Trump's book, Never Enough. Yes.
Yeah. Too much and never enough. Enough. Okay, so will Cassidy Hutchinson's book have an impact on undecided voters or independent voters?
Yes.
I sure as hell hope it has an impact on suburban housewives. But let's see.
Yes.
Is my deck upside down? My deck is upside down.
Okay.
So we have the Ace of Wands. She's taken strong action with this book, crossed with divine feminine wisdom and knowledge. What a freaking combo, man!
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a cattle prod for women who are Trumpers. And here's the thing, though. I guess if you're a Trumper, you're not going to like Cassidy Hutchinson because she testified against him to the January 6th committee. Now, I have a friend named Chip, who's a great guy, real salt of the earth type fellow. He's a little bit conservative in his political viewings. And we were talking about the January 6th trials, and he didn't really catch any of them. I said, if you only watch one episode, one version of it, watch the one where she testifies. Because to me, her testimony was so believable and powerful that it just crushed anything I saw before that. So it may not affect Trumpers, but anybody who's not sure what to think of it, they're going to hear her story and it's going to resonate with them, and it's going to move the ball down the pitch. In the past, we've got the Nine of Cups. I think this is just representing the powerful white men and the trophies that they put up behind them. With Rudy Giuliani trying to feel up her skirt and John Eastman just leering because he's enjoying watching Cassidy Hutchinson be really uncomfortable as some pervy 80-year-old dudes trying to feel her up. I think it's just going to expose the toxic masculinity that's been with people in power. Women are celebrating. It's not going to be a Me Too movement type thing, but it's going to have that impact in conservative circles. Maybe women that weren't real excited about Trump, and now they're going to start hearing stories about stuff in his cabinet. Maybe it's not Trump per se, but it's going to be about the Trump administration. Because it's not like she's some Democrat. She was Mark Meadows' right-hand man. She was an up-and-coming person who basically has no political career in the GOP anymore. But what she has is ethics and integrity. The Chariot. I think for Cassidy, it's like this is going to be a celebrated book. I think it's going to do well. I think she's going to be moving on with her career. That this path with the dirty old men, that path is closed. That is no longer an option, but new paths open up. This is the type of person who really should hook up with Liz Cheney if she's intending on staying with conservative ideologies. I think she would thrive in a Liz Cheney political campaign. Lesson to be learned, she's going to be a lot happier. Wherever she lands, she's going to be happier because people will know who she is, and they're going to basically, they know not to mess with her because she's not going to lie for you. So she's got this great boundary, which means that the only places that are going to take her are the ones that don't have to worry about taking her. So places that have, again, and I'm getting just a quick vibe that she might end up in some type of journalistic position, or whether it's a contributor to like a newscast or like the New Yorker magazine or something like that. She might end up in some type of field like that if she gets out of politics altogether. But it's something where she can spread her truth and have an editorial opinion. What an amazing read for this woman. Star card is the outcome. She has just absolutely set herself apart from everything else. Underneath we have the King of Wands. King of Wands, I'm only pausing for a second because I sometimes use that as my Department of Justice card. I don't know if she'll be going to the Department of Justice, but I could see where she's using that Ace of Wands, Divine Feminine Wisdom. She could either be exposing men whose actions are very poor. I think that's where I'm going to go with it, rather than some man's going to guide her. But I think she's just exposing bad behaviors of powerful men and the actions that they take that you would never think, and it would cause you to throw open your mouth a little bit if you did think about it.
Exactly. Exactly. Totally. I get it. And you know what? I shuffled this deck. I swear I shuffled it. And at the base, I've got Temperance.
I was about to guess, is it Temperance again?
Yeah, Temperance again. So, okay. And it's crossed by the Ten of Wands. So, yeah, her book is making a lot of people nervous in terms of what she has said, and more importantly, what she can prove. Because I think once she wrapped her brain around the fact this was not a good administration, that Trump wasn't the hero, the savior, the whatever you want to fill in there, and that this was a toxic kind of administration, I think that's when she started to not only pay attention but to take notes and knows who's who and how to find whoever it is. She is talking truth, right? She is absolutely saying how it was. And you know how sometimes people will say, well, truth is stranger than fiction, and oh my God, you can't make this up. And she's saying, yeah, you're right. I'm not. Here it is. Here's all of it. So yeah, she was willing to in the past to kind of be the wounded warrior, to kind of take some of the knocks in order to figure out where things are going to go and how things were going to land. And yeah, ultimately she decided that, yeah, she's going to fight. She's not going to sit down and be quiet. She's not going to be the good girl, right? She's going to say what she needs to say. And ultimately, yeah, I get the Sun. So yeah, she has basically shown the yeah, like you said, the entitled white old men what it's like to have backbone and integrity. And here, you can't do it for yourself, I will do it for you. So yeah, I think she's going to go forward, and she's going to have a very, very bright future in a lot of things that and maybe with that Ace of Swords, yeah, that could very well be communication. So yeah, the idea of her being like a reporter or
a champion of causes.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's one thing I want to ask. I don't know if I only saw the title and looked clickbaity, and I was busy. I didn't click on it. But there was some story about her and Matt Gaetz. And I'm wondering if Matt Gaetz was hitting on her, and she basically said, "You're not my type," or something like that. Yeah. Anybody in the chat, does that sound familiar? Did anybody see that one? I didn't click on it, so I mean, yeah, that's a tasty story. I didn't click on
it either, but I do remember that there was something about her rebuke of Matt Gaetz. So yeah, I could see him absolutely
Yeah,
going
because
to her. Yeah.
because
Oh,
I think
on
we're
Rachel Maddow.
you. Well, and you think about it. Um, for, forgive forgive me for having a Y chromosome. Um, Matt Gaetz do you remember how was it Madison Cawthorn? Matt Gaetz was the one who was showing nude pictures of women on the congressional floor, and there was like a competition between these young congressmen to see how many interns and such they could bed. And then they had one Democratic person who they referred to as the golden snitch. It would probably be like AOC. That if
Yeah.
you could have sex with her, you automatically win the game. Because she would never, it's just like the ultimate in trying to befoul or to desecrate, as it were, somebody like that. To these guys, women are just a challenge, and they're just trying to F them. And then, and again, it's this really crass, knuckle dragging, toxic masculinity energy. I understand why they do it, believe it or not. I think that's why I'm apologizing. It's like, yeah, I could see why they do that. Like, I'm a pig too. I could see exactly why they would do that. It's just though, but it's like, it's such a high school mindset, or early college drunk freshman mindset. It's not something that a mature person who respects women would do. It's this immature, got way too much testosterone coursing through my body that I don't think straight type stuff.
I can't control it. It's just, it is what it is.
And he looks like Butthead from Beavis and Butthead. You don't even have to stretch his forehead.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I do have some questions. Let's see.
That's it. Cassidy Hutchinson denies Matt Gaetz's claim that they once dated. I have much higher standards than men. Exactly. And she does. You can tell that just by watching how she carries herself. She's not he's a congressman and I'm so weak in the knees. So she's like a cat. Ew. No. Yeah. My wife Michelle would be very much like that. She'd look at him and just go, "No, dude, no."
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, thanks for showing up and trying. Kudos for that. Okay. CO gave first gag order several days ago, 14th Amendment case, and I think
Colorado.
Colorado. Okay. We'll give our next hearing this week. She might move the court up to February also. If Trump continues on the way that he's been going, she's been feeding him rope. Just go ahead. You don't just, you've been warned that the sword is going to fall. You just don't know when it's going to fall. So, carry on, because every word, every comment that you make, it's just one more sort of nail in the coffin. So I guess maybe we should ask, is Chutkan going to put a gag order, a severe gag order in place? I think she already has one that is kind of like, hey, cut it out. You're not intimidating witnesses. Or if you continue this, we're going to move up the trial so that you're not polluting the jury pool.
I don't think she's ruled on her. I haven't followed up on Judge Chutkan in about a week or so.
Yeah.
And I know that there were filings that Jack Smith put out there, and usually what she does is like, okay, you have this filing, then she gives Trump's team a few days to respond, and then the DOJ a few days to respond to that, and then the Trump team's the last 48 hours to respond to that, and then she will contemplate it. But I don't know if she's made a ruling on that one yet, but let me go ahead and throw on that one.
Okay.
She does threaten that she's going to move that case up.
Okay. Exactly.
Will Judge Chutkan either restrict Donald Trump? What's she going to do with Donald Trump and his murder mouth?
Yeah.
We don't know yet. It's still a mystery. It might be that she's still trying to make up her mind as to what's going on. But yeah, she wants whatever she's going to do. It's done with the intent to put an end to the nonsense and to let him know who's boss.
Yeah.
Oh man. Ace of Swords, she's laid down the law. She was very direct with him as to what he could or could not do. He doesn't listen. It's my way or the highway. And so now it's an ego fest at this point. Who's going to win? Is it going to be the woman or the lion? And there's no compromise. This is going to be a no compromise decision that eventually comes up out of this. There could be some compromise in the interim, but once the decision's made, there's going to be no compromise because you can't compromise with him. He is like a child that just twists everything to the way they want. Overarching energy is the King of Pentacles. This is all about Trump and Trump's behavior. And I think what she's waiting for is she's trying to make a decision that can't be challenged later. Like, if she were to put this massive gag order on him, he's going to say it was unfair. It impeded his ability to run for president, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So she's trying to put herself in a position where no matter what he does, she's got a defense for it. She's going to come out on top because she's a queen, and there's she's strong. She's going to put an end to this, but and I get some comments on my comment section about, some people are frustrated with Judge Chutkan. She said she was going to hold him accountable, and she hasn't done it, and he's just walking all over her. And it's like, my response always is, I look at these cards and I just trust that this woman's got this thing under control. Let her do it the way she's going to do it, because she's going to land on her feet, and he is going to land in the penalty box.
Absolutely.
5 minutes for fighting.
Yes. I think you're absolutely right. She knew the game plan before, Trump and his lawyers even came to court, that how she wanted to proceed with this. And that's why I said she's been feeding him rope. Like, yeah, go ahead. Just make my job easier. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I start off with the Hermit. And this is, her, I think this is her kind of being focused on one step at a time, right? She knows where she needs to go. She's thought about what she needs to do. And she's taking one step at a time. She's not letting herself be swayed sort of in either direction. And it's crossed by the star that she knows the importance of what she's doing. She doesn't have like a cavalier attitude about, oh, well, yeah, maybe yes, maybe no. She understands the impact that this is going to have. It's the Ace of Cups. It's she is dealing with him the way that she would deal with an emotional child having a temper tantrum, right? You need to calm them down enough so that they can listen to what it is that you're saying, because they're not hearing you while they're in the middle of stomping their feet and whatnot. So I think that, that's kind of what she's looking for. And then I get the Queen of Swords, and how lovely. This is kind of the root, the subconscious of the spread is, she knows what the truth is. She knows what the law is. She knows what she has to do. She's perfectly ready, willing, and able to do that. And she's in control of the game. And there's not a whole lot that anyone is going to be able to do about that. I do get in in the past, when he was kind of able to get people on his side, or at least some of the judges to kind of let him off easy, right? Because it was easier to let him get away with something that you knew you couldn't really control. This woman knows how to control it.
Mm-hmm.
She knows how to get it done. And ultimately the Four of Wands, it's the celebration where, I could almost see her at the end after she rules, the hammer comes down and she looks at Trump and says, checkmate. Yeah.
I do wonder if she'll move the trial up, because that's like the one thing she can really do that just messes with him.
Oh, totally. Okay, you know what? Let's throw a couple cards on that. Just just a couple to see. Yeah, does she move up the trial? Does she move up the trial? I remember you and I did a reading on this a while back, and I said, no, I see him going to court in December.
Okay.
And it was like, no, that's too, yeah.
Let's see. Do I need to throw any other cards?
No.
Is she going to move the trial up? Oh, yeah. It's going to get moved up fast. There's Donald. There's him having a tantrum. And it's costing him money. That's interesting. And then him trying to hold on to stuff. I think she's going to move up the trial, because he is out there just moving it up quickly. He's causing all sorts of emotional havoc. And I think she's going to hit him with a fine. I think she's going to hit him in the pocketbook. And it's the underlying thing is, you've got to get this guy to stop just exploding out and to keep everything tight. And he wants to hold on to his money. So there's two things that scare him: loss of money and being held accountable in a trial. So speeding up the trial and fines are the 1-2 punch that she could probably use against him.
Yep. I get judgment.
Ooh.
And that's her making a decision. And 5 of Cups. You're done. Thanks for coming out and playing. I think she does. I think she does move the trial up, because that's what she. It's one of those things that she could use over and over and over again, right? It's like, okay, so we're, instead of March now, you're looking at January. Do it again, you're looking at December.
Yeah.
We got a third next week.
Back to when Jack Smith wanted to start the trial, which was January 2nd. So she's got I think it's the third week in March or something like that is when her trial starts. So she's got a 3-month window to constrict on him.
Absolutely. Hey, Kelly Scarborough, the mystic next door. Yes, we read on that earlier. That was what we started out with, Kelly. It was, yeah. Okay, so 54 minutes. Let's see what else.
There was a good question that was in all caps over here. Where was it?
Was there?
Yeah.
Okay, just recently?
Oh, will Hunter Biden... This was one of the ones you had on your list. It was Kelly Scarborough. Will Hunter Biden win his lawsuit against Rudy G for hacking into his hard drive?
Excellent. Okay. Will Hunter Biden...
Yeah. Get these things shuffled. A cut of cards and some overhand shuffles. Hunter Biden. Rudy's not going to have any money. At this point, I realized the other day that Rudy, in that defamation case against the two women in Georgia, he basically surrendered and said, "Yeah, I don't want to go through discovery. I defamed him." And basically, I think it's like he knows he has no money, so he can't get blood from a turnip. And whatever was in discovery, and this was speculation, was, and even the judge said it. Obviously, it's like you obviously feel there's something worse in discovery that the court would find, so you'd rather just plead guilty to defaming these women.
Yeah.
And now, like, his lawyers said he owes like $1 million because he hasn't paid his legal bills and such. So Rudy's kind of like a loose can at this point because you just can't get any more money from the guy. He has nothing left to give.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden, how will he do against Rudy? Okay, back to the Knight of Swords, crossed by the Three of Pentacles. Looks like it's reversed on this one because my deck's upside down. He's charging forward with his case. Looks like Rudy and company might try to negotiate a settlement behind the scenes with it, and there's going to be a lot of disappointment. Again, probably there's no money to be had here, but in some ways, Hunter Biden's not after money. Money is just the punishment. What he really wants is exoneration of his reputation, and probably the most, and hopefully a truth card or something like that comes out. The most valuable thing to Hunter Biden right now is Rudy Giuliani coming out and saying that he manipulated data on that hard drive, and that this has been a scam and a sham the whole time. The past Ten of Swords, this was an absolute assassination attempt on Hunter Biden and Joe Biden with this stuff with the laptop. It was going for the heart of Joe Biden, trying to get him to lose that campaign. They didn't care about this man's civil rights at all. He was just going to be a sacrifice to them. But now, karma, what comes around goes around. Now that Hunter Biden's doing the one thing the Democrats don't do well, and that's go on the offensive.
Yeah.
They just sort of sit there and take it. And he's like, no, man, I'm not taking it. They violated some laws. The IRS violated some laws. This could also be the IRS too.
Yep.
And I'm going after both of them because screw these guys. They can't do this to me. And they broke the law too. So if I'm going to be held responsible for it, so are they. It's going to cause a huge fight. And this is what the Republicans want. They want to keep Hunter Biden in the news cycle because they somehow think that this is going to take down Joe Biden and get them into the White House and into both houses in Congress. So there's going to be a lot of fighting and arguing and stuff like that going on with Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is pointing out that they stole his data. You took things that did not belong to you, and that is illegal. That is the crux of his case. Let's see what the outcome is. That's an amazing outcome. The one card I was kind of hoping to see in here is here, the Sun card. I think Hunter Biden's going to do well with his court case, and the most valuable thing he can get out of this is the truth as to what really happened with the hard drive from his laptop, and that the people who had his laptop need to come clean what they did with it and who manipulated it, and then get that story out there to show that it's always been a hoax. Now, again, 25% of the American population is not going to care because they don't want to, but for other people, he needs to have that truth sent out there.
Yeah. It's funny, as you were doing your reading, there was a couple times when you would get a card and I would hold mine up. Here we go. I started off with the Three of Swords. This is absolutely what the betrayal that he felt, that this was something that was done to him, not because they wanted to get him, but because they wanted to go through his father. And it's like, okay, you know what? I've suffered enough in life. Like, really, you're going to throw that at me? The Knight of Pentacles he's yeah, he decided to kind of hit them where it's going to hurt the most. Um, and absolutely, this is a total reverse of fortunes for Giuliani and for the what's his name, Costello, I think was the other the lawyer's name. So yeah, he's up for the challenge with strength. He knows what he has to do, and he's saying, "Hey, you know what? I got nothing to lose. I'm going in." He does come out victorious.
Good.
In that he does win that, and it does go to some way to redeeming his character. In that, I think that they're I don't know that he like you say, I don't know that he's particularly interested in getting a whole bunch of money from them. I think that what he wants is for them to publicly have to stand up and say, it was a hoax. We lied. We made the whole thing up. He didn't do anything wrong. This is what we did. This is who we called in. Like kind of a truth telling forum or whatever.
Getting a bunch of 10-year-olds in the principal's office confessing their crimes.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect analogy. And wonderful way we can end the show on that, because I know you are dying to put out a couple more videos.
Oh God. I do have more I need to record tonight. I've got tomorrow covered.
Oh good. So yeah, for those of you who who are not familiar with David's channel, please go and subscribe, because the videos that he puts out are not only accurate in terms of the cards and timelines, but also he brings a really incredible insight into what the cards mean. So, hey, I watch his show. Okay.
In barring any of that, then there's some snark thrown in there. So a little sarcasm goes a long way.
Humor and sarcasm are always provided free of charge.
Exactly. The superpower.
Yeah, exactly. So, David, thank you again. Until 2 weeks from now, when we do it all again, and hopefully by then we'll have Judge Chutkan will have made her decision. We'll have something to talk about, and whatever happens, I know we're going to have lots to talk about. So.
It is amazing how much stuff changes in 2 weeks' time now. Remember when life used to be boring?
I know. And Book Bewitched, the name of David's channel is Tarot by the Bay. If you go down in the description of the video, I've got the channel name, and the link is right in there. So you can go in there and boom. Yeah. Do the subscribe and the thumbs up and all that good stuff. And Peace Mama and everybody else that was here, thank you for sharing part of your Tuesday evening with us. And remember, we will be back 2 weeks from tonight. Do it all over again.
All right, everyone. Have a great night.
You bet. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.